Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here. Today we're going to be firing up our workshops and completing orders. This is a tile laying game called Majolica. Ooh, shiny. The players gather tiles from a central board, they assign them to one of their various workshops, and then when that workshop is filled and qualifies for its triggering ability, and it has an order above it, then the players are going to start fulfilling those orders, moving those tiles along to the next workshop, and therefore finally completing orders and getting points. You get the most victory points, you are the winner of the game. It's sort of a puzzly, timing game in which you have to be very careful as to how you trigger things and hopefully get nice combinations along the way. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. I'll show you how it all works together. We'll come on back after that and I'll give you some final thoughts. Here's what the game looks like set up for 2 players. Everybody has a board. They have an opening order here. And then we've randomized the tiles on this board as well as put out the bonuses. There would be more of these with 3 players and 4 players. There would also be 6 of these cards face up on the table. But I'm not going to bother with that right now, just for the sake of saving space, all right? But here's what they look like. They're going to have different combinations of tiles that are required to complete that order. So on your turn, you are going to take tiles and then place those tiles and possibly run your workshops. You've got 4 workshops here. They are each going to attempt to fulfill these orders at the top. Each one triggers with a specific condition, and each one tells you across the bottom which tiles would move up if any of the tiles possibly break. If you are sending some of the tiles down here to City Hall, getting you a special bonus, things like that. So, let's say this player is the start player here. They are going to take a turn. So first thing is take these Majolica tiles. I can either take an entirety of one edge, so I can take all 4 of these, or these 4. Or I could take a single tile from an edge and get a new card from the 6 that are face up. Or a single tile from an edge and rearrange my orders up here. These are tied to the spot below them. And so this one is specifically attached to this, but if I wanted it to end up here, I could take a single tile and just move it over. So I'll go ahead and start. I'm going to take this entire edge here, so I get 2 red, a blue, and a green. And I would just find those tokens here in the pool. 2 red, a blue, and a green, and I would put them in one of these. I can put them anywhere I want to. So I'll go ahead and put them here in the first one. Now this is going to require me to have specifically 3 of one color, 3 of another. So I'm going to have to end up getting rid of something from within that. And whenever you take an excess amount, you'll be able to throw some away and just have the maximum that place can store. I cannot take a group, though, and split them among 2 different places. Now that I've done this, I'm going to flip these face down, and it would be the next player's turn. And the next player could, again, take on the entirety of one edge. Now this edge only has 3 here, but they can now take all of these as well. And so my opponent there is going to take these 3, yellow, yellow, blue. They're going to assign those also to the first location, like so. And these are flipped face down. We're going to continue doing this until the number of tiles out here drops to below 4, and then that's going to signify the end of the round. We're going to shuffle all these up, set them up again, and continue playing, okay? So it comes back to me, and I am going to, let's say I've gotten myself that I am able to, this round, just for the sake of pushing the explanation, that I'm able to get 2 green and a red. If I got 2 green and a red, I would have 1 tile too many. I'm going to get rid of the blue. So 2 green, a red. That would get me what I need to run this spot, which is 2 sets of 3. Now I follow the rules across the bottom, and these places are going to trigger as soon as there is a card that can take any of those tiles, and the condition is fulfilled. This workshop says across the bottom, I must take 1 tile, I may take another tile, and then the general rule is everything moves over to the next spot. When they would move over from this one, they cycle all the way to the front. You'll see that in 1 second. So I can take up to 2 tiles here, and indeed I will. I'm going to take the red, put it right here on this card, take another red, put it right here, and everything else moves along. Now this place requires me to have 3 pairs. So I am going to have to mess with this a little bit so I can have 3 pairs there of different colors. So that's done for me. That place has run. And we are going to continue back and forth. Again, now if there were some cards face up, I might decide to take one of them because it looks profitable. So I might take a single tile, let's say. Maybe I'll just take this one on an upcoming turn and put it in there, let's say, and take this card because, hey, I'm going to be able to help that out with the specific groups that I am making. Later on, I might take some more tiles, say 2 yellow, and I might put 2 yellow in here, like so. And then later on, I'll get 1 red, and I'll switch this one out for a red, and now that will trigger. Now, in this case, for this one, I have to move up 1. I may move up 2 more to the order. So great, I'll move this one, and 2 more. I'll go ahead and take these 2 here, and I am continuing to work on that one. Again, everything else moves along. In this one, I need 2 pairs. So as soon as I get another red in there and a card up here that can take one of those colors, I will go ahead and complete that. I might even take a red and move a card later on. So take one of these reds, put it there, and move a card. Look at that. And now I can move one up. I have to move one up. One will break, so I might say, okay, I'm breaking this one, and the rest will move along. And in this last location, all 4 tiles must be the same. Now, when this is filled, as soon as it has 4 of the same color, one of them goes to City Hall, as it says there, and that just goes down here, and the others cycle back to the front. As soon as I send a tile down here, I'm going to get one of these bonus tiles. The purples, which are the first ones to be taken, are going to act as a wild color. They are going to cycle through all of my workshops once, and once they would cycle back around from the back, they are simply discarded. The other ones are victory points. And so that's what a full cycle looks like. Now, ideally, what you are attempting to do is have one of the workshops fire, and after that, everything that cascades, in fact, makes the next one fire, and so on. If you're able to get your timing and your colors right, you can have a combination that does a lot of work for you within a single turn of the game. Anyway, players continue taking these tiles, as I said, and once it drops down to below 4, then the round is over. We are going to shuffle all of these up and lay them out again, passing the start player marker and continuing. As soon as you've completed something, so let's say I finally put my last blue one here, this is done. Tiles are discarded. I keep this card set aside. I'll be earning some more cards later on, taking new ones, trying to complete them. As soon as someone has completed 5 of these cards, then the game is that's going to be the last round. You'll finish up and you are going to count victory points. And the victory points are going to be based on the numbers across the top of the cards. That's victory points. For every 2 tiles that you are working on one of these, you are going to get a point for that. And of course, these are victory points as well. Whoever has the most points is going to be the winner. Besides this, there's a couple of little variants in the game. You've got these cards that you can use in the game with colors that are not stated, and so you can make those whatever you'd like. So you can shuffle these into the deck as well. You've got these cards here, which give you sort of goals to complete in the game as well. And you've got these special tiles that allow you to take a bonus point if you're able to trigger all of the ovens, basically in sequence. If you are able to pull off a very cool combo, then you're going to get some of these tiles as well. So there you go. That gives you an idea of how the whole thing works. Get your tiles, put them into your workshops, get them up to the cards, complete your orders, pass them down to the next workshop, and try to get this machine going more effectively than your opponents. All right, let's go back up top. Let me tell you what I think of it. All right, so that is Majolica, and so I'm going to tell you what I liked about it. If there's anything I did not like, which, well, spoiler alert, there's nothing I didn't really like. Okay, so here are the things that I like, are good, but I'm not really going to focus on. The theme, it's a nice theme. It's not something that feels tired, so I liked it. The game length is nice. That works out well. And the ease of play. The game is puzzly, but it is fairly easy to understand how things work. The iconography is nice, so that helps. Things I want to focus on. Aesthetics. I think the tile quality, and especially the card quality in the game, is superb. It's very well made. It has a nice look to everything. Everything works together quite nicely. Nice sheen on those tiles too. They do look like porcelain or something. So I like those very much. The replayability I also think is quite nice, especially considering they give you a few different variants in the box. So you have a ready-made expansion, if you would, right in there. You can mix and match some of those variants as you please. And then finally, the tactics and the strategy in the game. The most fun thing to do in this game is to pull off a combination, a cascading effect, in which you trigger one workshop with the card above it. You complete that card, or at least deliver some things to that card. Then these tiles cascade down to the next workshop, and that one's filled now, and it triggers. Possibly cascading down to the next one, maybe that triggers. That feels great, being able to pull off a combo like that. But it's a tricky thing to do. It's all about your timing, what you collect, where you put it, and seeing that cascading in your mind, and if it's going to work down the road, you know. So I think that's neat. It's a puzzly game. It's one that's engaging, has very simple turns, and overall it's a very well finalized design. One that is engaging, but also sort of a relaxing activity. It's not too punishing. It's one that, yeah, you might start to fall behind on if you see other players pulling ahead of you and you're not quite getting what you need, but it is never a particularly punishing endeavor, and I like that feeling. This is a nice game, I think, for people who don't want any sort of meanness in their game, who just want to play their own thing. Now, yeah, you'll affect other players with the tiles you take and all that, but it's got a nice, breezy, attractive, colorful vibe, and then a good flow to it all. So Majolica is a nice design. I really do recommend it. This is going to get a strong seal of approval from me. Definitely would suggest it for those of you who are not bothered by a theme that's somewhat abstracted, or, well, perhaps largely abstracted, and just want something puzzly, but with very quick and simple turns as well. So there you go. Seal of approval, again, for Majolica. Definitely give it a go. I'm Zee Garcia. Thanks for checking this out with me.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com.